South Africa at the moment. We're struggling with fuel prices on...
I'm anti-petrol hiking because I don't see the point of it.
Yebo sanibona, how? Welcome to Sip Talk. Bamba isiphuzo nakho kushuba. Ziningi izinto ezenzeka emhlabeni, but we thought you would report in your own country tonight. You see, if you want to make a society volatile, not just angry and divided, which is where we are now, but revolutionary and explosive, then you threaten the food supply. More governments have fallen to rising food prices than any other cause by far. Hungry people are violent. And Cyril's administration does not seem to notice that this is happening at all, or acknowledge it. Like all South African neoliberal parties, they treat unchanging truths about anything as heresy. They censor it and shut it down. They live in an entirely ideological world that they themselves created. They believe reality conforms to their theories and it's not the other way around. And why wouldn't they think that? If they can just go to the IMF and petition over $500 billion without any accountability. That kind of unscrupulous spending has dire repercussions for the citizens of this beautiful country. They think that they can probably eliminate inflation by simply pretending it doesn't exist. Ngoba phela, when you're God, there are no limits. Inkinga la yodwa ukuthi lamaxhego awasiwona onkulunkulu. They're not even capable economists. More than 10 years of reckless fiscal policies have devalued the South African rand to the point where the citizens barely survive. Now, the suffering of South Africans doesn't have the thrilling imminence of, let's say, the insurrection in Sri Lanka, but it's real and it matters. And this is what it looks like in numbers. Inflation might be bearable if you make over $1 million a year. Kodwa still uzozwela. Uyabo, if you make less, ziyakhala. You'll radically change the way you live. Your standard of living will plummet. And that's exactly what millions of South Africans are facing as of right now. This is not a talking point, it's real. Statistics South Africa released the inflation rate in June 2022. Take a look. These are the numbers from May 2022. They have risen dramatically since then, and they continue to rise. In the country, meat, poultry, fish, eggs up by 7.6%. In Gauteng, a tray of eggs is 94 rand. 2 litre Oros is 45 rand in Mpumalanga. So is a packet of fried chips in Durban. Cooking oil up by 39.7%. The price of 6 chicken wings went from 55 rand to 80 rand. Better order something else. If you want to drink beer to celebrate, think again. 45 rand for a quart. Prices of everything are rising far faster than salaries are. Too fast. And in very real terms, people are getting poorer. And not just people who buy things, consumers, but also people who sell them, retailers. This is a catastrophe for small businesses. Watch.
So the inflation that we're experiencing at the moment is absolutely crazy. The way I can relate to it in my small business is 3 months ago we were paying 450 rand for a 20 litre drum of palm oil. We're now paying 850 rand. It's doubled basically. We've had increases on every single product line that we buy, not to mention our packaging. I mean, it's countless. Everything is going up, and it's incredibly difficult for small businesses to absorb these costs and still trade at the same prices that they were. Unfortunately, like everyone else, we're having to raise our price just to try and make the same, if not slightly less profit than we used to.
It sounds like he was describing Zimbabwe, which is not a picture of a stable economy. And that's not just food that's rising fast. Electricity has risen by 14.4%. In Johannesburg, it now costs an arm and a leg and your firstborn for some petrol, 1,000 rand for some tank. Just imagine, nationally fuel is up. Diesel rose by 336 rand for 45 litre tank, taking the annual rate to over 45%. Petrol is almost over 27% more expensive than it was in May.
in South Africa at the moment. We're struggling with fuel prices on business, just daily running around. It's impacted us on food prices. It's unacceptable.
Yeah, it's a bit of an inconvenience to everyone.
All right,
And it's affecting the food and a whole lot of other things as well.
Rising fuel prices make people desperate. You wouldn't know this from watching TV because most people who bring you the news don't know what's going on and are not even bothered by the price of fuel. But the rest of the country cares very deeply what the price of fuel is. In some places, the problem is so bad, fuel prices are so expensive. Thieves have brought the video game GTA into life by driving away without paying. Contrary to what you were taught about climate change, the internal combustion engine is not the basis for a moral crisis. It is a miracle upon which civilization actually rests. Your online shopping arrives because of fuel. So does your food delivery. You can afford to see family for visits because of fuel. So when the price of fuel rises, everyone is affected, no matter who they voted for or no matter whether they notice it directly or not. Here is how people in KwaZulu-Natal are reacting to the fuel hikes.
I'm anti-petrol hiking because I don't see the point of it. Because if someone's going to benefit from this, then it's robbery.
Kunzima. Yonke into inyukile. And kuthiwa futhi kusazoqhubeka izinto zinyuke lokho kusiphatha kabi kakhulu singenawo umsebenzi singenasala ngoba siyasebenza sinayo isala.
Umuntu ogcina egibela ngo-20 rand phela manje. Ubuya nokubuya futhi 40 rand. Cabanga usebenza le-50 rand ngosuku.
Now, will our government keep going to the IMF to ask for loans? Well, we certainly hope not. South Africans care about that. How far will the fuel rise? South Africans care about that even more. They deeply care because it affects their lives so dramatically. Yet, the coverage of this is not proportional. You almost never hear anybody being asked what they think of the fuel hike. Only the mainstream media has the devil-may-care attitude towards the matter. It's sickening. Every product in this country, with some exceptions, but not that many, is delivered thanks to fuel. Now with the fuel hikes, all products have become more expensive. These are real numbers with the real effects. Okay, outing in Finland, tourist states. The standard of living of South Africans, who for the most part of the democratic years have managed to rid themselves of poverty, is plummeting. Strunas. I cross my fingers and I hope to die. So, what is the government actually doing to fix this? What are they doing to help? Well, that actually depends if you're from Botswana or not. If you are, you'll buy fuel from our Robin Hood governments for far cheaper. But if you're not, well, on to you. Because the ruling party recommends electric vehicles.
The issue of fuel and petrol hikes is a complex matter. By the way, if you look in terms of integrated energy plan, amongst other issues, in order to build your productive sectors of the economy, is the new developments in terms of your electric vehicles. Any comprehensive strategy that does not take the new phenomenon on board, it is flawed. It cannot be comprehensive because what is in the auto industry is that there are electric vehicles.
So maybe the first question should be, what are you going to do about the fuel prices, buddy? The roads are falling apart. How about you just fix that? No, comrade. We have a plan, comrade. Electricity cars, comrade. But that's not the only plan to fight inflation. The other plan? Blame others.
Price uses an import parity methodology which currently takes into account the most obvious fact that the conflict in Ukraine fuels the supply disruption and continues to strengthen the value of the US dollar relative to the South African rand.
You just heard from the member of the ruling party whose total reservoir of knowledge about the world is as small as his bank account before he joined the ANC. This is someone who knows literally nothing about anything that works. Electric vehicles? What would that be like, ANC? They have no idea what they're talking about. They actually have no interest in learning why the South African rand is less valuable than it was in 2017. And they have no interest whatsoever of improving your life. So the question begets, how long will this continue? These guys are actually teetering on the edge of something very dangerous. They should catch a wake up. Fast.